Hey everybody, how you doing? This, of course, is Oliver Joyce, and welcome to a gloomy day in late November. It's been a couple of weeks, and welcome to the old school, old look Whiskeybarrel Studios, because I've had to move my desk and everything back the way it was because my Wi-Fi doesn't seem to work in that corner. So there you go. But I'll be ordering some kind of sort of mesh extender today to sort of try and boost the signal and improve things a little. Oh well. Okay. What's been going on in the world of Swords and Sandals and Mortals? I hear you ask from across the void. Maybe you haven't been asking that, but I've been really hard at work and so hard at work, and I haven't really had time to make videos because I'm trying to sort of put things together in time for the big Steam next festival in February, of which Swords and Sandals and Mortals will be featured. I'm having a demo made, and you'll be able to download that demo in February and check out part of the game for yourself. So what I'm trying to do is put together what's called like a vertical slice of the game. And a vertical slice is like a really nice polished working section of the game that doesn't represent the whole game, but is enough for you to go, hey, I like this game, or not for me. Hopefully for you. Hopefully you enjoy it. And I want to show you just a little bit today about what I've been up to. The main thing in this video is the new Fight Selector. Fight Selector, which for those who've played Sword and Sandals 3, this will be something that may be a little familiar to you. But those who haven't, this will be something cool for you to check out. All right, without further ado, let's jump into Sword and Sandals and see what I've been up to lately. So here we are in Willard's Sound, which is the starting town for gladiators in Sword and Sandals and Mortals. And for those who have been following the development of the game, you notice this screen looks a little bit different than it did in the past. Firstly, we have a new background. Not that there was anything wrong with the old background, but that old background represents a different terrain type, which is plains, fields and plains. This is more hills, and because the Willard Sound area is in the hills, we have a nice little sort of lush green grass, some trees in the background, a few flowers in the field, just to represent you being in a different area. And there's a bunch of different terrain types in the game, and each one has advantages and disadvantages. And as you move around the map, you will see your caravan in different areas. So if you're in a snow-covered area, you're going to see snow on the ground, and you're going to see, maybe snowdrops falling. If you're in the desert, you're going to see heat shimmers and desert sand underneath the caravans. And I think that's just a nice way to sort of convey the feeling that you and the caravan have traveled around a bit. And I'm really happy with how this has turned out. They've got, I think, 10 different terrain types, which is pretty cool. The other thing you're going to notice here is we have a battle circle, for lack of a better term. Now, if you're familiar with the main game, all your buttons are in a circle. And I thought, well, let's continue that theme across the caravan. So instead, you used to have names here saying like weaponsmith, armorer, enchanter, that kind of thing. Because there are more options than buildings, I wanted to sort of have it in a easy to access circle. When you're doing UI for these games, like user interface, you'll find yourself often reiterating and reiterating on the design as you sort of see improvements and things come to you. And here we have, armor is up here, weaponsmith here, tavern here, campfire, fight selector, training area, enchantress. So, for example, if we decided to go to the armorer, here it is. My sword, this forge is hot. And you can buy stuff and everything like that from him, or we'll leave the shop and return to here. In the middle here, you see where you are, Willard Sound, and a lovely little picture in the background. Each town will have its own picture. And right now, we have over 30 towns in the game, 30 locations to fight. And each one has its own arena background. And, each one will have its own temperature and probably, and I'm not 100% certain about this, but each arena might have something a little bit different from the others. Certain rules, like this might be an arena that says no magic or strength boosted by 10%, that kind of thing. Just subtle changes that will make each thing feel a little bit more unique. You've been to the weaponsmith, of course. Here's our Gideon de Loungeville, who is the son of Louis de Loungeville. A little spoiler alert for you. Now, One thing I'm not sure that you guys may know yet, but you're going to see this full battle caravan yet. When you start off the game, you're only going to see one of these characters, and it's probably going to be Guillaume de Loungeville. And then as you go through your adventure, quite quickly, of course, you will meet the armorer, the enchantress, the tavern keeper, and the fight selector. Actually, you meet the fight selector very quickly. He might actually be the first one before these guys join you. And I think that's just a cool way to sort of introduce the world to you. I've been working very hard on the overland map, the overworld map, which I'm not going to show you for a little while yet because that is another huge component of the game, and I'm going to reveal that in the future. But when you journey on, you return to that overworld map. But what I wanted to show you today is, of course, the fight selector. So we're going to do that in a second. Okay, I hope you're enjoying the game so far. And before we jump over to the fight selector, I just want to talk a bit about my Patreon. And more importantly, the Patreon supporters who have been supporting me this year. Neighbor Jack, Janda Kuchinahi, Noah Gurajan, Nico, Xup Omega, Ilya Gurovich, Jeffro of Hex 3D, Davi, Akim Shabanov, Pialo34, Michael Loda, Yunus Yalo, Hopeless, Chris Lopez, Big Mike, and Brandon K. For those who are really astute, those numbers haven't really changed in the last month. The Patreon is a small but loyal crew of legendary gladiators who are with me on this journey. And without your support, I mean, the game would still be made, but you're just helping me make it that little bit better. So I really do appreciate you guys. If you and the audience would love to be a Patreon, if you would like to be a patron, that would make my day. Get over here. Get there, and then get down. Get down. If you want to be Patreon, you get access to certain articles that I write each week, just blog posts updating you on the game, stuff that you find out a few weeks before everyone else. At higher levels, you can actually beta test the game, and I'll also include you in the credits. And I might even do a sketch, and you'll end up on the Obelisk of Heroes at a certain tier. I can't remember which one it is. But anyway, yeah, I want to thank you guys. Look, I don't think anyone really loves having a Patreon. It feels a little bit, like I'm asking you guys for money. I don't want you to ever give me any money that you wouldn't just throw away on a coffee. Honestly, I'm going to be okay regardless. But if you do want to be a Patreon, it does help me out. And it also just speeds up the development of the next Sword and Sandals game. So I thank you. Anyway, on with the show. All right, so before we jump to the fight selector, I think we probably want to grab some armor quickly. So we're going to buy ourselves, we got 260 gold. We're only level 1. We can get this level 1 new bandana. Probably since the last time you saw this shop, you see now the level of the item as well, which is helpful. Because, the items get better and better. That's a level 9 helmet. You can't have that yet. We can get ourselves a helmet and grab some pants. And a breastplate, just we can afford. Okay, all right, we've got a shank. That's not great, but it'll probably be fine. All right, time to go to the fight selector. Okay, meet the fight selector. I'm going to hide my webcam. This is him. This is actually fight selector 386DX, and he is of course an automaton with robot hair. And he's got his little iPad and stylus pen there down the bottom. He's pretty cool, and he will travel with you and organize fights from town to town. Okay, so right now we have 3 battles available because when I was testing out, I actually tested out the easy battle already, so that's gone. Usually you would have 4, but you have something like Kewen, a level 3 Hallian gladiator from Fergalheart Forest. He's a medium difficulty. Yuan is a level 4 Fey Barbarian, so he's a bit tougher. And Rasabor is a level 5 Guntarian. Now, in theory, the armor generator should be giving them better and better armor as they level up more, but that hasn't really happened in this one. This guy is actually, he probably has better stats than those ones, and he's level 5, but this guy's better armored. So I'm going to tweak all that for a future video. Anyway, let's fight Kewen. You can only fight these guys once per day, and then once the day ends, new gladiators arrive. But when I was testing, I actually fought the easy battle and lost. But let's try this one, maybe have more luck. Farsal Blast versus Qin. Okay, I've got to add a little power score thing as well, so you can actually see, you know, literally how much power you have, you know, which is a number that tallies up all your stats versus all their stats. You know, we're actually, you know, not too badly matched up. We might be able to win. Probably not. We've only got a shank. Got any items? No. Got any skills? Oh yeah, we're not supposed to start with these skills, but in debug mode, I've given us a few things. Let's taunt. Ignored that. Ah! That was a quick battle. All over. Okay, there you go. Great. Well, that one ended poorly. Rather poorly. I'm going to load it up again, and I'll show you 4 new gladiators from the fight selector. Okay, and we're back. And it's actually a different time of day now in the game. This is a different character called Pip. For some reason, the default is this sort of Faetorian with blonde hair and so on. But yeah, you can see the light has changed a little bit. This is probably, I don't know, afternoon sometime. Let's quickly grab a weapon this time. Let's try a... Oh, we can't get any of these things. Only a cleaver, level 1 cleaver. And we'll quickly grab some armor. So it's pretty quick to go to the shops in this game. I think the shops are way better than previous Sword and Sandals games. I'm much happier with how these ones have turned out. And that's thanks to the Godot engine, which is way better for doing this kind of stuff than the old Flash games ever were. So I think this is the... Oh, not enough gold. You young folk think you can take everything, but you're mistaken. Shut up, Thargan. Alright, I'll show you the training dummy too. Do you wish to train? You can't actually train yet, but that'll be like a, you know, just a wooden dummy you can hit and it won't hit back and you test out your skills. Exit shop. I live to see another day. Alright, to the fight selector. Okay, 4 new gladiators because I've, you know, loaded up a new game again. But when you save your game in general, you have to fight these guys throughout the day, or you can choose not to and do other things. But there's going to be time will be a very important part of Swords and Sandals for a very good reason. We're going to have a sort of a doomsday clock in this game, and every time you do things, every time you move from town to town and perform actions, time passes, and that's going to have a very important impact, and I'm looking forward to talking to you about that. Alright, so let's maybe choose Anguish Rip, level 3 undead gladiator. Okay, this is a better example. This is a level 1 gladiator called Oscar. He doesn't have anything except a 2-handed staff. These guys all have items. Now, in previous Sword and Sandals, there's been a bit of a complaint that gladiators were using items that were not their level. Not possible in this game. Every gladiator, their items follow the same rules as you do, so they can't choose things that are above their level. Let's choose Oscar from Takash Desert. Stop snarling at me, mate. To battle! You can, of course, skip that. You don't have to watch the whole battle intro. Yeah, so the lighting's changed. It's sort of late afternoon lighting, which is kind of cool. Oh, yeah, it's hard. Oh! My legs weren't protected. Fights are going to be short and sharp, at least early on, and I think I like that sort of new... I don't want fights to drag on without all these extra skills. Anyway, there we have the fight selector. So what do you think so far? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback about the game. There are so many systems and moving parts and things that, you know, you've seen some of. There's a lot that I haven't shown you yet. Wait till you see it all sort of unveiled in a game loop. It's really fun to play. It feels to me fun to play so far. And what I'm working on right now, this big overworld map where you can literally travel from town to town with little adventures on the way and so on, is really going to make this feel like a big Swords and Sandals game. This is the first time you've been able to travel throughout Brandor as a solo gladiator. Of course, in Crusader, we went from sort of town to town with armies, but this feels like a bigger world, and you'll be able to explore places everywhere from, you know, little towns like Willard Sound to Eldor Hath, a first glimpse at the world of Eldor Hath, which is, of course, where Emperor Antares is from, and I'm really excited to show you all that. So If you want to see more of this sort of stuff, of course, subscribe to the channel and, put the little bell and everything. And, mostly each week, I'll be updating the game videos with stuff like that. So you'll be able to see more. I want to apologize for the lack of videos. It can be hard to, I got to use my time wisely when I'm making this game, because I am really rocketing forward to the Steam Next Fest demo in February. And once we have that, then the early access game comes out in April, which is only 4 months away, 4 or 5 months away, 5 months. Thankfully, 5 months. So there's a lot to do. Okay, if you haven't seen the Immortals trailer, and even know what if you're not sure what I'm talking about, where have you been? Let's check it out. This trailer needs updating because a lot has changed since then. But it's still a pretty cool kind of, summary of what is to be seen in the game. And you can wishlist it on Steam. I'd love your wish list for the game. If you want to wishlist it, that really does help, spread the game's popularity and spread the word about it, and let the Steam algorithms know that there is a cool thing happening. Hey, go away, the scribes. You already know about this. I'm going to do a very special Games Gladiator next week. Just a special one to talk about Warriors Rise to Glory, which is some friends of mine have been released that game at Gavra Games, and I'm going to play that and let you know my thoughts on it. So that's coming next week. Lots of Swords and Sandals coming up in the weeks and months to come. Right now, there's a Steam Autumn sale. Did you know that? So if you haven't got Swords and Sandals in your collection, you can grab it on sale right now, 30% off. And if you bundle them up, big discounts. All that sales pitch talk gets exhausting. And I got some games to make. So I'm going to leave you guys for now and wish you all the very best. Until next time, my friends, bye for now.